What you need in the building? How's everybody doing? So we had a really interesting, very exciting weekend, and we're gonna recap as much of it as possible. Talking about the weekend fights, it was really good. It was really exciting. I don't know what to say. This was a very exciting weekend of boxing. A lot of boxing. In fact, I'm not gonna be able to cover all the fights that happened with guys I was interested in. I'm not going to be able to cover all of them, but I'll try and cover some of them. So we had the Showtime that had their set of fights. We also had the Zone, which had its set of fights, and we also had Top Rank, which had its set of fights over this weekend. And some very prominent names were on display over this weekend. And the fights actually went more interesting than was expected, right? The fights were pretty interesting, and okay, there we go. And so I want to talk about them, but before I do, you guys of course can participate in the chat section. You can also donate via Western Union or MoneyGram if you want to donate to my channel. Um, but in addition, you can also join in on this panel live with me, and we can chop it up a little bit as a guest also. So all of those things you can do if you so wish. And we're gonna have a good old time here. All right, so the weekend fights. Let's talk about the cards that were out there. First one, very interesting. I forgot it is the Azteca card. So there was actually four set of promotional companies, right, and four different channels. You had Azteca, Showtime, DAZN, and Top Rank. Okay, they all were featuring fights. So there's a lot of fights over this weekend actually that happened, at least prominent fights at least. And we're gonna start off with the Julio Cesar Chavez versus Hector Camacho card. And boy, what a night of fights! What a night of fights! What a night of fights! Okay, we're really going to talk about this. You can also comment in the comment section. Don't forget, you can also chop it up with me right now as a guest in the guest area in the chat section. But let's go into that card. First of all, I got to say, I was very impressed with a lot of fighters over this weekend, and I'm going to talk about them. Um, I think that there's a lot to be said about these weekend fights. It was just flamboyant. It was great. Dead Game Boxing, what's up, bro? Salute, brother. Salute to you. Dead Game Boxing in the building, saying salute. Shout out to Dead Game Boxing. And boy, we had an exciting weekend of fights, didn't we? I mean, at least for me, I was very impressed with a number of fighters this weekend who fought. And not all of them won their fights, but I was very impressed with them. I'm going to talk in much detail. If you guys want to hop on again, hop on my channel as a guest. You can join the program and you can talk and chop it up with me right now on the weekend fight. So please don't be bashful, don't be shy, and don't be a stranger. All right, so we're going through it. Um, we're going to talk about first Julio Cesar Chavez, Hector Camacho Jr. Azteca card. And boy, there's a lot to talk about. But let's start first with the first of the Chavez family, the dynasty, Omar Chavez. He took on Ramon Alvarez, which is actually Canelo Alvarez's brother. As you know, there's two different boxing families that faced off each other. This is the third time they would be facing each other, right? This is the last of the trilogy. The first time, I think Ramon took it. And then the second time, Omar Chavez knocked out Ramon. And this was the third fight. And there was a lot of, bad blood between them and the rivalry and so on. And then the fight happened. And I gotta say, Ramon showed me a different side of himself. I was actually quite impressed with Ramon's performance. Kind of Canelo-ish in that your fight is bigger, much bigger guy than you. I mean, you think about it. Omar is much bigger. He's much longer. He has better. He's stronger. I mean, he should have won this fight going and all the advantages he had. But as I said, you can have those advantages if you don't know how to use them. It's a different story. And one of the things Ramon was doing quite well was he would flip the punch and he'd come back with something, okay? Which you slip and counter, okay? So he would slip and counter. And he would do a little bobbing and weaving even, get to the inside. And come in with, left hooks, deep left hooks. He'd come through, with right hand. Sort of like the things that Canelo's doing. I don't know if he's using the trainers, Canelo, what? He looked a lot like Canelo. He did not look like Ramon Alvarez we saw against Erislandy Lara. Never mind his chin up in the air. He a lot more. But he was a and of course Omar Alvarez, Omar Chavez is it's kind of Alvarez fighter as Erislandy Lara. Okay, let's be real. And Ramon Alvarez was one people. I don't know what weight class to fight that, but it was a fight. And it was a pretty interesting fight. It was a pretty exciting fight, lots of action. But what was really, really interesting was see the smaller Ramon Alvarez walk down bigger Omar Chavez. And I mean, Omar Chavez looked like he's hesitating to keep his hands at home because Ramon Alvarez was like tagging him up, busted his eye. Was very aggressive, walking him down and just walking him down 8 rounds. Okay, beat the crap out of him. Now, I heard my Omar Chavez did try to take risks and really try to lace it, but he just couldn't bring it off to Ramon Alvarez. Ramon Alvarez dominated him from beginning to end. It was very impressive. Very impressive performance by Ramon Alvarez based on that he had been stopped previously by Omar Chavez. And the other thing being that he had also, had been knocked out by Erislandy Lara. Now, having said all of that, the point for Ramon Alvarez. Now, I don't know if people are using themselves for hamstring drugs, but these guys just seem to be putting the windows of time in. I don't know if it's that or it's just that they are just now. But I gotta say, very commanding, very performance by Ramon Alvarez against Omar Chavez. And he just looked a class above Omar. And Omar tended to throw punches throughout the day. After tasting, the power punching and just counters of Ramon Alvarez by Ramon Alvarez. Now after that, I was thoroughly impressed with the fight between Anderson Silva and Julio Cesar Chavez. Okay, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Went up against MMA fighter in Anderson Silva, who, had been training in boxing for a while. He'd been a kickboxer. He had done a little bit of boxing in his life in his career. But the performance Anderson Silva put on against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was just phenomenal. Phenomenal. I mean, he started off the fight on the back foot, used his jab, occupying with his jab, right? Anderson Silva, of course, Julio Cesar Chavez is an all-round fighter. And he just circled the ring, was on point. He was very relaxed in the ring, very veteran, like a veteran move against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Now, Julio Cesar Chavez had mixed stats, so mentally, I don't know where he was at. Mixed stats in his career has been losing all kinds of people, but nonetheless, he was, Anderson Silva was a bigger dude. Nonetheless, and this was a bona fide boxing match, very first boxing match. Anderson Silva at 42 years of age, not only outboxed with Cesar Chavez Jr., but he beat him up really bad, busted up his eye, busted up his face. I mean, he beat him up. He started to walk him down. He started fighting on the inside. I mean, he was doing it. And both Omar and Cesar Chavez Jr., they're known for their fighting, really, right? That's what they're mostly infighters. But I mean, Anderson Silva beating Julio Cesar Chavez everything. And think about this: Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. It was a former middleweight world champion in boxing. This is not some slouch. This is the guy that's been at the top level. And Anderson Silva made him look like an amateur. He made him look like a novice. I was like, what the hell? I mean, Anderson Silva truly. I remember Roy Jones Jr. wanted to fight Anderson Silva. I'm like, it's an MMA fighter, man. What are you talking about? Dude, this man was doing occupy with his punches. He was at uppercuts. He was feinting, going left, going right, lateral movement, inside, outside pivoting around you. I mean, he was doing all the check hooks and everything. He also a lot of showmanship with coming to the corner, kind of like Roy Jones Jr., emulating Roy, but in southpaw stance. I mean, this dude put up a case why he should be Roy Jones Jr. This man comprehensively, I mean, almost every round, he beat Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and beat him up too. Not just beat like in points, but beat him up. I was extremely impressed with that. I got to say, very, very impressed. Fernando Montero said, "What's up, brother? Long time since I've been on this." Yes, sir. What do you think of the? What did you think of the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Anderson Silva fight? That was fight. It was a spectacular fight. I really was very impressed with Anderson Silva's performance for his debut into boxing. Now, we've seen a lot of incredible things over the last couple of fights. We've seen Marisha Shields, first MMA fight, and she won her first MMA fight, right? We saw boxers. We saw just recently there Floyd Mayweather take on Logan Paul, and Logan Paul in his debut was able to go the distance with Floyd. This is a guy with limited, very, very limited. Then we saw something very impressive again in Anderson Silva, this ancient of days dude. Hold on a second. Fernandez. That was a good fight. Shout out to Fernando Montero. Fernando Montero comes out and he said, "That was a good fight. I was impressed by Anderson Silva." I mean, I was blown away. I was blown away. And it's smart boxing we're talking about. He was very smart in angles and his movement, very elusive. I mean, I was extremely impressed with this guy. Okay, extremely. And I talk about Ramon Alvarez, who was pretty impressed with as well, because it's a short little guy, stumpy, and he covered all that distance. Was able to counter a much longer fight. But Anderson was put on a master boxing class. Ramon beat the guy out of Omar, but I mean, and he lost up his eye and everything. But I mean, Anderson Silva comprehensively he made Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. look like he was an amateur. Okay, that is just extremely impressive. I was Roy Jones Jr. take on Anderson Silva. I always wanted to race Anderson Silva. Anderson Silva came up on this card where Julio Cesar Chavez versus Hector Jr. Very impressive performance. I can't speak to you how much this guy was used. A lot of not everything he did was polished. Okay, that's the only thing, right? He's still loose with his right hand. It looks scrappy. You know what I'm saying? Fernando Montero says Chavez Jr. looked big. He had at least 210 pounds of on it. Possibly. The thing that really did not impress me about him was the fact that Julio Cesar Chavez, but he wouldn't get an Anderson Silva. Anderson was bigger than him. He could get you a little bit. But the thing that I found very sad was that Julio Cesar Chavez is not being beat by, MMA fighters. That ain't supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's not supposed to happen. That's disrespectful. Okay, to sport of boxing. Anyways, father is what we talk about next. I'm trying to go through this as quickly as I can. Fernando Montero, man, good to see you, brother. Right. So now we're talking about Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. Julio Cesar Chavez here. And it should come up about now. I don't know what's coming up. Okay. My phone is not the same kind of phone that I usually have, so that's why everything's kind of a little slower than usual. There you go. So Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. versus Hector Camacho Jr. Now, let me just say, Hector Camacho said, as much as he gives, I'm going to give back. Hector Camacho Jr., by the way, that boy box. That boy can box, okay? He boxes off. But at the end of the day, I really loved what happened in the penultimate round where Julio Cesar Chavez was really putting on heat Hector Camacho Jr. They were going at it. And, he was really landing some beautiful body shots. And then he said, I'm going to take off my mask. You take off my head protection. I don't want to go toe with you. This is supposed to be his last fight, right? Canelo up in the ring, and you could tell they was punching that bell and all kinds of shit. They were like really into it, And they go through the last round, and he really hurts Hector Camacho Jr. with body shot, right? Nasty body shot. I gotta say, I was impressed with that old man. That old man is 59 years old. He's going to be 60 this year. Get out of here. Get out of here. That old man, he still got it, man. He still got it. And I mean, he won't go around. He don't do 12 rounds. He still got it. I was very impressed with him. I found the gaps to say. I was also impressed with Hector Camacho. You know, he looked less in than Julio Cesar Chavez did, but he still knows boxing, man. That countering and shit looked really good, really, really good. Fernando Montero said, Chavez Sr. looked better than his two sons. That might be damn straight. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, those body shots, man. He plays those body shots so nice, and he leads with the right hand and the left hand. Now, his children do the same things. They go to body work, they lead with the right hand, the left hand as well. Beautiful. But he does it so much better, and he's not ferocious. He also got to defend everything in order as well as come forward. But no, it's just great to see him nail the next generation there because Ramon Alvarez was there. And Julio Chavez called up Canelo into the ring. It's almost like he's his adopted son, you know, that passed the torch to. And it's just great, you know, great Mexican culture, great background, and these were good fights, okay? And what made them great for me was the shocker that, you know, these fighters, I didn't expect. Like, I didn't expect Anderson Silva to do so well. I didn't expect Ramon Alvarez to do so well. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And then well, Julio Cesar Chavez is a legend, you know, but, you know, Hector Camacho Jr. impressed me as well. You know, he impressed me quite a lot, you know. It was good. It was really great that night. That night was really great. And what I like about both Anderson Silva and Julio Cesar Chavez Sr. is the showmanship. You know, the taking off the hat. You know what I'm saying? And punch after the bell, or you know, dancing around the ring, or do that foot get hop get thing. Call a guy in the corner. Give me some. Give me some more. You know, the showmanship. That's something that's missing in boxing today. I think that's a little spark. And I think that makes boxing so fun. You know what I'm saying? Fernando Montero said, "Good humble moment bringing Canelo in, especially after he said he won't surpass him." You know, sometimes Chavez talk about certain things. You know what I'm saying? He talk about certain things, the ego thing. But Canelo is already. I mean, Canelo is a fucking beast. Okay, sorry about the F-bomb, but he's a fantastic. He's a fantastic boxer. Okay. After I saw Jamal's performance tonight, Canelo's a fantastic boxer. Don't get me wrong, Jamal will get there, but he still has some growing up to do. You know what I'm saying? And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I just absolutely loved Julio Cesar Chavez's performance in the ring. It was only 4 rounds, but still was beautiful to watch. Great performance by Anderson. I mean, fantastic performance. That was a 8-rounder or was it a 10-rounder? I think it was a 10-rounder, right? It was a 10-rounder. I think it was a 12-rounder. I can't remember. But a fantastic performance by Anderson Silva. And then Ramon Alvarez also himself. I didn't expect a short little guy like that, especially how he's expected by Lara, do anything against Omar Chavez. Who just everything about Omar Chavez just dominated. He's bigger, he's taller, he's stronger, he's longer. You know, like how's the short little guy going to do it? No, man. Very impressive performance by Ramon Alvarez. Very measured, very, you know, controlled. Exceptional. I really loved those fights. Now, once again, I'm throwing in Fernando Montero, man. Fernando, man. If you want to, brother, you can join the screen. You can join me as a guest right now. I don't my computer be able to handle it. It's kind of a little quickly now. So if you want to join the program as a guest, the link is actually in the chat section. So if you want to join in, and let's hear your voice, see your face, that'll be great. All right, that'll be great. I don't know if my sister can, but I'm gonna give it a go. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's go on to the other set of fights that we had. So we're gonna look at the Showtime card. If it will pop up, I'm hoping it'll. So the Showtime card, we're looking at the Charlo versus Montiel card. Okay, and we're gonna go through some of the fights. One of the fights that happened was old man Francisco Vargas versus young up and coming Isaac Cruz Gonzalez. And I mean, Francisco, man, he got a heart of a champion, man, because Gonzalez was just ripping shots on him. I mean, Gonzalez was doing you, and you know, Francisco, he got a heart of a warrior, so he was still trying to stay in that fight, but in no way did he have a chance of beating Gonzalez on that night. And Gonzalez would not be the young upcoming undefeated fighter, and so he dominated Francisco. It is what it is. You still see the old warrior trying to do something up in there. You know what I'm saying? But the fight of the night was Jamal Charlo versus Juan Macias Montiel. Oh my goodness. Let me tell you, I am impressed with Juan Macias Montiel. I am impressed by this guy. Okay. I watched the fight. I didn't get to see the best, view of it, but oh my goodness. Now listen, this guy was not but a couple steps away from getting knocked the fuck out, right? In the third round, I think the fifth round, he almost got stopped, right? This guy turned around from that, and remember, he's on the back foot, he's trying to side, whatever. And this dude started walking Charlo down from rounds 7, 8, 9, 10. He was walking his ass down. Okay. 11, 12, right? The second half of the fight, he was walking down. And the thing about this that was really impressive was he was picking off Charlo's shots. He was picking off a lot of Charlo's shots. He didn't hit flush, don't get wrong, but he wasn't getting hit flush all the time. Like Charlo could just throw, a barrage of combination. You know what I'm saying? In the comment section, we'll go to the comment section. See if we get there. Takes a little while to get down there. Okay. Fernando Montero says, that was a great fight. I noticed Charlo has some trouble fighting on the inside when he can't get full extension on his punches. And Fernando Montero says, Southpaw's troubling him. Yeah. Well, the thing about it is, I would love points. I think he's working on that. Like, he's never, when you think about it, Charlo's never really been walked down. Nobody really walked it down. Dervin James didn't really walk him out, right? This was the first time to really walk him down. He was dominating Montero in the first part of the fight. He was dominating. He almost got on it, right? Twice. Okay. But Montiel is a smart fighter, and he can make adjustments. He made adjustments to handle Charlo's power. And he was doing with the sharpshooter, and he adjusted his angles. He started switching. Because Montiel can switch it. He's a switch hitter. He can go from side to orthodox side. I remember seeing him saying, I won't forget the name that Charlo also faced and he knocked out. I'm trying to remember the kid's name. So while I'm remembering the kid's name, I think Hector something. You guys help me out here. You guys also join live with me. Okay, you can come in and join live. It's at the top of the chat. So just scroll up to the top of the chat and you can join this program live that's on this program as soon as you want to, okay? Hold on a second. Montero says, do you agree with short-term cards that Charlo won? No, I don't agree with every round. Round 12 went to Montiel. Went to Juan Macias Montiel, 12. I think he also won the 11th. I think that Montiel also won. I think won about 3 rounds or 4 rounds. I think Charlo won about 8 or 9. Yeah, it was right by no means. The second half, Montiel kept coming on. He kept on coming on, but his corner was saying, "You need to knock this guy out. You need to knock this fool out." And he really pressed for the knockout. 10, 11, and 12. He was pressing for the knockout, but Charlo made an adjustment. He started going back to the stick. So Charlo wasn't using the stick all the time, right? When he dominated him through the first 5 rounds, Charlo put away the stick and started to engage on the inside. And that's when Montiel started to get back into the fight. Montiel is an inside fighter, right? And so the thing about Montiel, though, and I'm going to demonstrate for you guys to see, okay? So let me go outside here. Let me demonstrate it. And the thing I tell you about Canelo, Montiel is actually doing, all right? He don't just apply pressure, he applies smart pressure. Okay. I really wish I was in a better room to see this. suffice it to say, this is me here, right? Like I said before, I'm in the southpaw stance because I'm a natural southpaw, right? So I pop the jab, and I feint. I'm pulling myself back. So my foot is inching in closer to you, and my body's leaning back like this. So I'm here. I got my guard up like this, okay? And then the other thing that Montiel did, and that's why he's skilled. He's not polished yet. His game is up. And Jamal's right. This guy's going to come world champion one day. Okay, so one of the things that Canelo do, he got two lean like this, or something lean back like this. Okay, so Montiel, he got the longer reach and everything. So he lean back like this, right? He inching in, but he's also as he's inching in. Now Montiel, he can switch it. Sometimes he shift, like Triple G. He shifts his stance and he all stance, and he's doing a drop but not. Okay, he shifts like he want to get in position to throw like the body, or he might shift to throw jab this way. So he can on you and then throw his punches on the inside. Okay. The other thing you have is we call the rolling guard. I'm gonna catch it with my elbows, so that's our block shot. So when you think Montiel getting shot straight down the center, and his head's not back, it's his guard. Hit the guard and he moves back. So Montiel was picking off shots with his roving guard. He's picking off shots and inching in. He's inching in on a feint. Hey, your feint is gonna come in. I'll show you. I'm gonna feint you like this. Make you throw something. Come with my left. Right? So I bet you. Ha! 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 Okay? So it was beautiful what he was doing because that's what he was using. And it's kind of like Canelo-ish. Canelo, it's called smart pressure. I want to feint you to see what you will do, get you out of position. Very effective was uppercuts to Charles' body. He also had a beautiful lead left that he hit Charles with in the 8th round. I saw it swell up his eye a bit. Charles said it was a headbutt, probably was, but it was also straight lefts. He was landing straight lefts on him. He's also throwing that check right hook. Charles tried to come in and press action, catch a check right hook. Even Charles might tag him with him. Right. The other thing is he rolled punches really nicely, and he rock whips really nice. He carries his body and just rides the punches really nicely. So there's all those little things. Early on he got stunned, got buzzed, but after that he covered on that, and he really was determined as well. He had will and determination. So when it looked like he would just keep coming, Charlo seemed to be throwing the kick at him. No, he was actually catching some of those shots, riding some of those shots, blocking a lot of shots. Okay, especially the shots to the body. Charlo wasn't actually landing a lot of body shots. You know, Montiel would block, and Montiel was one coming to the body shots. So the suplex and stuff. Charlo's a tough cookie to crack as well. So it was a good fight. Charlo did win the fight, no doubt about it. And it looked like he was getting Montiel out of there. But I was so impressed with Montiel because Montiel brings so much to the table. He's a switch hitter. He also got roving guard. He uses virtual distancing. He also creeps in with feints. He creeps in on you. I lead with either hand. He can lead with the right hand, left hand. I'm telling you, kind of like Julio Chavez, aka Floyd Mayweather, Jr., etc. Guy got a lot of skills. You heard Marshall say he was awkward. Another word for awkward is he was skilled. He brings the skills to the table. He wasn't really awkward. He was skilled. He was doing a lot of really interesting things. You know the guy that was kind of like that? Emmanuel Burton versus Floyd Mayweather. But Emmanuel Burton used to do more. He was even more elusive. He was even more tricky. He'd even ride the shots even more. Fernando Montiel says Munguia versus Charlo would be a good fight. You think Munguia green? Yeah, Munguia's too. He's way too green for Jamal Charlo at this point in time. I think Charlo's a very, very sharp kind of puncher. Charlo had a good test with Munguia. I think not Munguia, Montiel, because Montiel kind of got something like in the southpaw stance at that. And I think that Charlo being pushed his limit, having to make adjustment, was a really good thing for him. It was a very good experience for him. He handled Derevyanchenko a lot better than he did this guy. He's down the stretch. This guy was trying to knock Charlo head off. He was trying to knock him out. You know, and he tried to do the same thing to what's the kid's name? I forgot the the guy he fought, Charlo. He got draw, but really should have won that fight too. So Munguia, we're gonna talk about Munguia. Talk about the Munguia fight actually. So that's actually next. Now, Munguia. Before I go to Munguia, okay. On the zone, we had Munguia versus Zarameda card, right? And on the zone card, we had the guy who goes woo, which I just forgot his name because I didn't write it down. There's so many fights over there. There was a lot of fights. There was a fight I'm not going to be able to cover here because I didn't see it. Adam Lopez versus I can't remember the guy's name, but I really want to cover that fight as well. But in the Zarameda card, the woo guy, he faced some other guy and he knocked him out. It was really impressive. But then on the undercard of that card, a co-main event, I think it was, we had Gabriel Rosado versus Bektemir Milikuziev, which he's called Beck Bully, right? Beck the Bully. This motherfucker hits hard. He hits hard. It's a hard ass body shot. Okay, he sets it up too. He's southpaw. And shit, if you haven't seen that fight, you need to go see it. Because he dropped Gabe Rosado and started hitting him with some really nice. Gabe Rosado said, he started landing shots back at dude, but still using defense, still a distance because, of course, about range. And Beck Boogie and Beck Bully, you know, he fight mid range, right? Mostly European got mid range fights, right? Anyway, man, Beck was going in for him. Beck was timing him, and man, he had a pretty hard. He had some two very hard shots on Bully, but it didn't hurt the Bully because going in for kill. Beck Bully out of the corner was going in for kill. Gabe baited him in. He baited him in and set it up right. Boom! And knocked that motherfucker clean cold out. He knocked it out. Now, what about it was how sneaky that thing was. You know, he set it up, you know, occupying with the jab, and boom! He's just trying to time it, right? He knocked him the fuck out. Those are impressive. Fernando Montero said, that was a knockout. Damn. Yeah, it was very impressive. It's just sweet time. Dude never saw it coming. Dude never expected that to happen. You know, dude's strong, but dude never expected that to happen. And veteran move, you know, set him in the corner. Anderson Silva, who is junior, do the very same shit. And that's what I understand. It's dangerous dealing with smart fighters. You know, and Gabriel doesn't know the knockout artist, but man, he knocked that motherfucker out. What was Beck Bully forgot to do? He dove in to land the body shot. So it's a very quick movement where he will leap that foot up to the body. But in trying to throw a body shot, you leave your head exposed. And Gabe was timing his ass. He was trying to get on and time his ass. And you know, Gabe said after the fight, he said, "No, I have to kind of pressure him, bring the fight to him so I get the time." And it worked. Boxing is such a clever sport. It's like it's a thinking man's sport. It's just, you know, I was in the Jamal Charlo too. I was breaking down what exactly he was doing in each and every round and what kind of adjustments he was trying to make. Like he said, no, he realized he getting caught because his head was going over his lead foot. So like he needs to stay in balance a lot more. So it's all the tricky things and finding out from overextending. Because overextending is where you get countered and get out there, right? That's where pack out. And most fighters, you open up yourself and you overextend yourself, and that's where you can get knocked out. Fight like Floyd Mayweather never won't get knocked out because they never overextend. They're just in balance. Fernando Montero says Munguia and Rosado called each other out. Still measuring stick for Munguia. See what he can do. Yeah. Rosado make or break Munguia. That's how serious it is. Rosado's not got you cut out. Okay. Crafty, he more so now than ever. He's crafty, he's skilled. And you know, I remember what he did to what was his name? I'll tell you. Solanke. Solanke. Remember when you get to Solanke, he knocked him down. He knocked that out in the 12th round, get a little more time. He's a dangerous. Rosado a very dangerous fighter. Now, I don't agree that Rosado beat. He's claiming that he beat Jake. He did not beat that. Jake was just outclassing him. But whatever. You know what I mean? But Gabe Rosado, man, just so impressive. I mean, I've seen a lot of impressive performances over this weekend, and Gabe Rosado was another very impressive performance against undefeated, young, prime guy mowing down everybody fighter. Okay, so it was a very impressive performance by Gabe Rosado, and that's why I said this weekend was actually lit. It was a lit weekend for real. You know what I mean? So let's get to Jaime Munguia. Okay, now Rosado called Munguia after. Munguia is looking to face either Triple G or he's about 1 or 2 shots away from champion fight. So it's either going to be Demetrius Andrade or it's going to be Triple G. Triple G's occupied before the end of the year, so probably sometime they do that. And then with respect to Jamal Charlo, he might make the fight with Demetrius Andrade. Actually, the Andrade fight. A fantastic fight. Now, let me just say, that was a learning experience for Jamal Charlo. Okay? It was a learning experience for Jamal Charlo against his opponent who was determined to make the most of his first shot at a middleweight championship title. And the thing about that was he was able to kind of see his out something like Canelo would do. What Canelo would do to walk him down. Canelo's a little bit, Montiel's pretty smart. Remember, Montiel knocked out James Kirkland very recently. I mean, he just totally lost him before the round was even up. And then he also had a series of knockouts. He had also, but didn't get the decision. I forget what the other guy's name is. A guy that Jamal Charlo knocked out as well. So he's been performing, okay, and all these have come by knockout, okay. So Montiel wasn't really a guy to sleep on, and he was determined. He was, I'm coming for your title. I'm taking the title. You know what I'm saying? So he was really coming to, and he's a smart fighter. He's still got a lot of work to do to tighten up his game, but very smart fighter. I really throw, and even Charlo applauded the game plan he had coming to that fight. So credit to him on that. But we're going to talk about Jaime Munguia right now. I'm trying to put this in perspective. Now, Charlo, he said, Demetrius Andrade might be the guy that's going to. Jaime Munguia might end up facing Triple G. Munguia, big, strong fighter, but I still don't think he's ready for a Triple G. Hey, I might be wrong. Triple G is getting old. But Jaime Munguia versus Zermeda, right? Zermeda actually was a former Triple G opponent. Just actually was Triple G's last opponent. So Munguia opponent against Zermeda. Basically, Zermeda does like the same thing that Triple G and he's a mid-range fighter. Kind of works behind the defense, throws counters. He's more counter punches than anything else. He counter punches. He didn't really propose any serious challenge to Jaime Munguia. He was mostly hitting Jaime Munguia's butt stuff, and Jaime Munguia really this is all guy, and he counters and stuff. He really started putting the beat on, okay? And the guy retired in 8 rounds, 7 rounds, something like that. But because Munguia was trying to put hurt on him, all right? He was trying to put the hurt on him. But nothing special, nothing really. He's not like top tier. He's not like an elite guy. And I'm getting great. But I don't think he's ready for Jamal Charlo or Triple. But put in there if you want. Let's see. You can push himself and see what his limits are at. But I still think he's going to do very well against much more speed like Triple G. And I think Triple G, as old as he is, I think he beats Jaime Munguia. And I wouldn't put him in front of. I would definitely not put him in front of Demetrius Andrade right now. Andrade would just chop his ass up because he's kind of straightforward. He's got some defense. I see him, dipping and bumping and weaving and slipping some of the shots. But against a guy like sharper, faster guys like and even Triple G, I think those guys just so tough. They just walk his ass down and just beat him up and then knock him out. So I'm not giving him full credit, but where it's due, I'm just saying that he still got a lot of learning to do and get a defense, a much better defense. Fernando Montero says I think he got the right idea from his offense is his defense. I don't think that will hold up with top competition. You need more than that. Yeah, especially a guy like Triple G. Triple G very, very tough. And when Triple G decided to put the heat on you, I know he's elite. I mean, like Triple G's elite. He throws, very sharp, crisp, not so much sharp as accurate punches. And he turned it with pressure. He knows how to put it on. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing with Triple G. I mean, Munguia is young, but, and it looks like they're lining him up with Triple G. But I think he's food for Triple G right now. That's the food for Triple G. Triple G will break and stop him. Okay. Now he ain't stopping Jamal. Triple G will not stop Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo has certain tools in the tool bag. But I like Munguia. He's using a jab. He uses a jab quite a lot. Finding the outside before he goes down the body of our opponent. Brutal, left hooks. So I'm very much impressed with that. And I can't really say much about his opponent. Didn't impress me, but he did what he was supposed to do. He got guy out there, and that's what he impressed. He wasn't get him out of there, like get him out of there. Guys didn't go come out for the next round, but still, he's developing as a fighter. He's still growing as a fighter. Okay, and the last one I got is for the top rank card, and it's the top rank card: Naoya Inoue versus Michael Desmariñas. All right, let me talk about this. Filipino fighter Michael Desmariñas actually has a lot of potential. Okay, he has a lot of potential as a fighter. Unfortunately for him, he got hurt with a really brutal left hook to the body, and he never really fully recovered from it. He didn't know what to do exactly to get out of that situation. But he was actually doing quite well against Naoya Inoue. He was keeping range, he was keeping distance. He's a southpaw, so he would throw from the southpaw stance. He was landing a lot of nice straight lefts to the body, trying to break down Naoya Inoue, reduce his speed. Inoue was the guy mostly in the beginning again. He's the stalker. He's the guy pressing the action. And very much like Charlo, the Charlo fight, I would have loved to see how that fight would unfold if he could have survived the body shot. Unfortunately for some of these guys, they're not trained in every single area, not prepared for every single thing. And his downfall was the body shots, right? So as soon as he realized that weakness, he just went for it. And he took him out of there. But it was a good fight. It was a good fight as long as it lasted. I wasn't as impressed with Inoue as I was impressed with Michael Desmariñas, even though it was a brief fight. One of the things I was pretty impressed with him was how he was getting those angles in. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of sad that the fight ended that way, but it is what it is. And when you're at the top tier, when you're an elite fighter like Inoue is, you smell blood, you're gonna go for it. You know what I'm saying? You finish. He's a good finisher as well. So it is what it is. But this sets up another exciting match: Inoue versus the winner of Nonito Donaire versus my boy John Rael Casimiro. I'm looking forward to seeing Casimiro versus Donaire because they're both Filipinos. That's going to be one freaking hell of a fight. I'm very excited for it. It's supposed to come up, I think, this September, or at the end of the year. I think it's August or September, something like that. So that's going to be a very exciting fight. I mean, the weekend of fights was just great. You know what I'm saying? Fernando Montero says, I don't think Triple G fights Munguia, Charlo, or Andrade. I think he's still set on the third fight with Canelo. He's not going to get that. Canelo is at 168. That's a pie in the sky dream. That ain't gonna happen. Canelo's not coming down to no catch weight. Canelo calls the shots in boxing. Canelo is his own boss. It's never gonna happen. The only way that fight with Triple G and Canelo happens is Triple G goes up to 168 and Canelo gonna kill him. He's gonna kill him. All right. Triple G cannot face Canelo. Triple G is gonna stay at 160. He's a 160 pounder for life. Triple G, if he wants to take on one more big money fight, should look at either Charlo or Andre as his big money fight. Maybe face Munguia. I think he should face Munguia, actually. I think that's the guy that I think he can beat. Them other two guys, he's not going to beat them. He's just not going to beat them. Okay? They're too sharp, too fast, too strong, too everything. He's not going to beat those guys. But he can beat Munguia. Not to say that Munguia is going to be a guy that rolls over. And Munguia might surprise me and beat Triple G. Who knows? But what I'm saying is, you know, Fernando Montero says, whoa, he knew he hit him with that Canelo left hook to the body. He kept on mixing it up. And if you notice, he knew he was mostly going for the head all the time. And then the first body shot he landed on him, he made him crumble. And he knew he's known for that body, the left hook to the body. That's what he dropped Donaire with. Donaire never got dropped with nothing else. He could take everything else that he knew was throwing him. But the body shot, man, well-placed body shot, well-timed body shot. It's not so much about power, it's about placement and timing, right? He got great left hook to the body. And Dastamaris, he just couldn't recover from that. You know what I'm saying? He just couldn't recover from it. Great stuff, man. Yeah, he folded. Dastamaris got hard, man. He got back up from that, made it to the end of the round, went into the second round, got dropped again, and then he got dropped again, and that was it. He got dropped 3 times. Dude got hard. Filipino, man. Them Filipinos got hard, man. What do you think of Lopez Dogbe? I didn't see it. Who won? I didn't get to see that fight. Did Adam win? Who won? You tell me. So basically, this is it for the weekend fights. I just wanted to talk about it with you guys. You know, chop it up. It was a lot of boxing. I think that's the only fight I didn't see over the weekend. I think it was that and also Felix Sturm versus I forgot the guy's name. Some European fighter again. But you know, the most exciting fights were the ones in which the underdogs really proved that they weren't underdogs. You know what I'm saying? You think, you know, that's what makes boxing exciting. When you think you know what's going to happen, and it's totally different, and the guy they just give sensational performances. I think that's what made Pacquiao so great. Pacquiao, you know. Oh, you didn't catch it either. Oh shit! See, you and me both. It's there though. All you got to go to is a site called All the Best Fights. All the Best Fights. Go to that site. It's there. That's where you can catch up on your boxing. Well, that's it for me with the weekend fights. Man, it was great stuff. Love the Chavez card, even though his 2 sons lost their fights. I mean, the underdogs were just made the fights great, and they were great fights. And Chavez, of course, everybody would love to see Chavez do his thing. Oh, really? Dog Boy, he won? Wow. Okay. They went the distance. It went the distance. That's something. That's something. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So that is it. I am what you need. I just wanted to talk about the weekend fights a long time ago, but I had to do a couple things today, plan some stuff and clean up the place and organize. And we're in the middle of a curfew, so I have not been able to leave the house, go anywhere. We are able to leave in the morning, but once it reaches around 10 a.m., everything's locked down. So we're locked down because of COVID in my country. This is what you need. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll get to chop it up again another time. Fernando Montero, it's good to see you, brother. Hope you do well. I'm going to catch you guys later. This is what you need. Getting out the building. Saying peace to you all. Peace.